Update: paid the price for making people laugh at my dad's expense. Recently, it was my dad's birthday, and during my speech, I decided to share a funny story about the day he had the talk with my younger brother. I had been eavesdropping, and one line stuck with me. My dad told my brother that his existence was proof that having kids can be expensive, so he should remember that condoms are cheap. It got a good laugh, and I followed it up with some heartfelt words about what an amazing dad he is. Afterward, my dad thanked me for the speech, but warned me he'd get back at me for sharing that story. I laughed it off, thinking it was just an empty threat. A few days later, while running errands together, we stopped at a gas station. My dad wanted to buy snacks, and I figured I'd wait in the car. But he gave me that look, so I put my phone away and joined him inside. As we approached the cashier, my dad suddenly cashed in on his earlier threat. He asked the cashier to add a box of condoms to our purchase, and proudly announced that he was buying them for his son, pointing right at me. I was stunned. The cashier raised an eyebrow and asked which brand he wanted. I quickly tried to explain that my dad was joking, but he cut me off, insisting he would never joke about safe sex. For added embarrassment, he showed the cashier a photo of me with my girlfriend, explaining that he wanted to make sure I didn't let a fleeting moment of fun turn into a lifelong consequence. I couldn't take it anymore and said I'd wait in the car, which I did. When my dad finally came out, he was carrying boxes of condoms in plain sight while the snacks were tucked away. I had to open the car door for him, and he awkwardly climbed in, saying he didn't know which brand I preferred, so he bought a variety. I could only laugh at how far he was willing to go for a little revenge. Fast forward to last night, I had dinner with my family, and my brother and I invited our girlfriends. Before we dug into the meal, someone had to say grace. I volunteered and asked everyone to close their eyes. I took the opportunity to thank my dad for the absurd amount of condoms he bought me. I made it clear how much I appreciated his protective nature, not just as a father, but also regarding my well-being. I jokingly mentioned that I was still testing the various brands he had picked up. I shared my thoughts on 3 different kinds I'd tried with my girlfriend. The Climax delay condoms? Not my favorite, as they dulled the sensation. The Trojan condoms? A disaster that earned an F grade, and I jokingly blamed my dad for the risk of pregnancy. Lastly, I mentioned the Durex condoms I had used right before dinner. They were okay, but I couldn't help but point out that the man who bought them should have known my size better. The looks on everyone's faces were priceless. My brother was barely containing his laughter, while our girlfriends seemed to be waiting for the reactions of others. My mom sarcastically thanked my dad for teaching me never to act my age, since he still had some growing up to do himself. My dad looked at me, as if to say, "Are you happy now?" And honestly, I was. I might not have completely outdone him, but at least I didn't go down quietly.